And all right, hey everybody, welcome to the MLO live show, sponsored by Redder. I'm here with a long time friend. I
Long
don't think
time.
long time friend. It's been at least 15 years, bro.
At least.
Yeah. So Tim Davis, there's man, you got an unbelievable resume, and I don't know if I'm just looking at your LinkedIn. I'll share LinkedIn with everybody, and you got a couple books out there, and just been kicking butt, taking names, and man, dude, I appreciate your time today to jump on this, and I know you're in Texas and having a good time. So man, introduce yourself. Let's get this started, man.
Well, I actually live in Nashville now.
Nashville, okay, all right.
I'm from Texas.
There you go. All right, there you go.
No, man, you listen, I got this business. Oh, dude, listen, I was an overachiever, so I flunked out of college not once but twice, right? I mean, like you had to, overachieve.
That's right.
And I was literally working at a finance company, and man, we were loaning money out at like 24 to 30% money, interest.
Wow.
And I'd take your couch as collateral. And so if you didn't pay me, man, I'd like roll up on your door, knock, and be like, dude, I'm gonna take the couch back if you don't give me my $30. And like I had a pager and everything. So I was super cool, right? And that just blew a lot of people away. They have no idea what a pager is, right?
That's right.
And so
awesome.
I remember my first date with my wife, I took her out. I was like, I got to make one stop. And she's like, well, what do you got to stop? I said, I got to go see a guy. And I didn't want to tell her, I was trying to do collections or whatever. And so we go to this kind of a seedy part of town, and she's a little nervous. And I was like, just wait in the car. I'll be right back. So I go up and I knock on the door, and this dude comes to the door, and he kind of pulls back his arms in his jean pocket and everything. He's got like a 9mm on his pocket. And he said, can I help you? And I was like, I just came to tell you that we forgave your debt. Like, you don't owe us any more money. Like, I just wanted to tell you in person. Keep the money, keep the couch, live a good life. Anyway, so a buddy of mine got into mortgages and called me, and he was making over $100,000 a year. And you got to understand, man, I was making like 24 grand to risk my life and take your couch as collateral. And I remember telling my consumer rep at the front, I was like, Linda, I'm going to go take this job. Good luck with everything. And I just handed her the keys, and I just left. And they hadn't even offered me the job, but I'd be daggum if I wasn't going to get it. But this is a good lesson for everybody today. So I go in there, and it was Bank One, and the name of the company. It's way back in the day. They were cheaper. I was lending money at 30%. They were lending home loans at 10, right? I was like, good Lord. I mean, I could sell this. And so I said, what's this job? What do we got to do? Right. And here's the lesson. Mike Brown, he said, look, you only have one job. Just find a loan every day. And I was like, that's it? I'm like doing 2 or 3 of these couch loans every day. I mean, you're asking me to find one person that needs money for a house to buy it or refinance it or whatever. He's like, yeah, dude. He goes, don't get caught up in all the noise. Just stay focused and find one loan every day. And I swear to you, Scott, today, that's all I think about. Like, I go to the gym and I think, where am I going to create a conversation, and what am I going to say that's going to lead to a loan application? Right?
Love it. Yeah.
So just finding a loan every day and staying out of the noise.
That's amazing. Can we, and I always talk about the green room, which the green room was before we start this. Can we tell this story? Because it's still happening today. And what you did with a book that you don't even feel is a good book, so how to get agent appointments, how to get into an office. This is what we talked about in the green room before we started. How to get into an office with an in-house lender. Good topic for everybody. Everybody ready for that? This is crazy. Hey, Devin, you want to pull up that book and share it in the chat?
God, dude, this is terrible.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
All right. So I'll tell you the story. All right, look, every week we would sit down in our office, and you got to understand, like, I came from nothing. Like, when the 10th of the month rolled around, we had like no money left and very little food. So I've been scrapping since a kid. So that doesn't faze me at all. Like, I do not mind scrapping at all. And so you have to find a way to make yourself valuable, right? And so, because if you're going to leave the housing projects and do anything with your life, I mean, number one, it's not a gated community, so they don't have you on lockdown. You can just get up and walk away. But number two, you've got to find a way to be likable and get people to like you back and build that trust. And so
yes, sir.
What's that?
No, I just said yes, sir.
Okay. So every Monday we're sitting in our office like, okay, what are we going to say this week? What are our conversation starters? Because I think in lending, you've got to be the chief conversation starter.
Amen.
That's your job, right? Because conversations lead to contracts. I actually wrote a
Mhm.
book on that too. So the more conversations I get, the more opportunities for contracts I have, right? And I'm talking about like talking to people. I'm not talking about like going back and forth on a Facebook post. That's not a conversation. Okay. And so we're running out of ideas. And so I'd watched some YouTube video about how a book could make you a celebrity and get your foot in the door and all. And I didn't know whether it was true or not. I was like, look, I'm dumb enough just to believe it. So I'll try it. So I come in and tell my partner, David, I'm like, okay, look, I got our next hook. And he's like, what is it? I'm like, we're going to write a book. He goes, dude, have you ever written a book before? And I was like, no. He's like, dude, your spelling's horrible. And I'm like, I don't think anybody read it anyway. So who cares? And so he's like, well, how do we start? And I said, I don't know. Open up Microsoft Word. And he goes, well, what's the book going to be about? I said, I don't know. We'll give them 42 sales tips. And everybody's like, well, where'd you get the number 42? I don't know. He just asked me what we should do. And I said, we'll just do 42 sales tips. I just sounded cool. And so we literally wrote a book on 42 sales tips for real estate agents. Okay. And we knew how to publish it. We published it on CreateSpace back then, but now you can just go
Oh,
directly
geez.
to Amazon, you know?
Yeah.
And so we like literally did this thing. And so we didn't want to write the tips are like one page and they were brief. And so what we did to fill up the book on the other page is we created a quote to go along with the chapter. Because we figured like we just put a little cartoon graphic in our quote, that'll fill up a page. Because what we've discovered was there are like no rules when it comes to writing a book. It doesn't have to be a certain font size. You don't have to type it in Times New Roman. In fact, the best-selling book of all time is a 300-page book. It's been on the Wall Street Journal forever, or a long time ago. It was a big, big seller. It was called Everything Men Know About Women, and it's 300 blank pages. So I'm like, dude, we could totally do this, right? And so we're running around the office all the time saying dude, seriously to each other. And I'm like, we'll just call it dude, seriously. 42 ways you've messed up your sales career and how to fix them before you go broke. Just terrible title, terrible title. But I figured, you know that old saying, they judge a book by the cover.
Yes.
So we did a big photo shoot to make our book look just like really captivating. Like you go on and you want to pick it up, like, what the hell is this thing? And so Robin was our dialer, and I just told Robin, I was like, look, just start calling these real estate brokers and tell them, you know, we've got free sales training, and everybody will receive a free copy of our brand new book when we come in. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a ball game and they throw out T-shirts.
Oh,
Grown
yeah.
adults will break each other's back to get a free $5 shirt they could get in the pro shop. So people love free crap. And so she does it. And I come in one day and she's like, hey, you're speaking to this Keller Williams on Thursday. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know the two guys over there. They've got an MSA. I think they pay like $5,000 a month. I'm like, you got us in there? And she's like, well, yeah. I was like, I just told them the script you gave me, which had nothing to do with mortgages. Okay. She's just like, hey, Scott, it's Robin from Tim and Nick's office. And they'd like to do some free sales training and give everybody a free copy of their new book on sales training for real estate agents. And that was her script, right? It didn't say they're with, you know, Gateway Mortgage and they're going to come, you know, no. And so I tell Nick, I'm like, there could be a fight. Like you better man up. Like when we go in here, these dudes are serious about their business and they're paying a lot of money, and we're just going in here and about ready to make relationships with everybody. And sure enough, we roll up on that Keller Williams on that Thursday, man. And we walk in, and that one of the guys that's sitting there, he's like, hey, what are you doing? I said, came over here to do a little sales training today. And we've got a box of books. We got our stand-up banners. I mean, dude, we look like a traveling ring, Barnum and Circus thing, right? And he's like, dude, you can't come in. Like, we have strict rules and everything. I said, I don't know what to tell you. Your broker invited us. We're on the docket in 30 minutes. Those agents are going to be in there looking for a trainer. And here we are. He goes, you just wait right here. He goes back and he comes back, dude. I mean, his blood pressure had to be 300 over 200. I mean, he was hot. And he's like, last time, don't ever come back. So we go back there and we make the best of it. Everybody gets a copy of the book. We take pictures with everybody. We sign some autographs. I mean, this is crazy stuff,
Dude.
man.
Dude.
Anyway, we started getting business out of there.
Of
I
course.
never had to really go back after that. I just
Right.
because we had them in our database, and then we started our little circle of referrals campaign that we do, and it just worked. So I
That's
don't know.
amazing,
That's
man.
how we did it.
Amazing story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story. So Tim and I go so far back. We were trying to figure out when, and so Tim wrote a book way back when. I don't remember what it was called. Do you remember? You have any idea what it was called? Like
Dude,
what?
I don't know.
And then I got a hold of Tim, and Tim's like, "Hey, man, I'm like, you can be a co-author of this book." And I'm like, "Done." I was like a year in the business. This is 20. It was probably 20 plus years ago. And
Mhm.
so I got instantly had this book that Tim wrote. I just put my name on it as a co-author, and like start handing it out, and all these agents are like, "This is awesome, man. You're the bomb." Like I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool."
Well, I mean, look, they have a longer shelf life. I think it's sacrilegious. I've never gone by a trash can and seen books in it.
That's true. That's true.
Right. And social media is great, and you'll find me out there, and I post a lot, but
Yeah.
every post has a shelf life, and then it sort of disintegrates and disappears. But
Yeah.
I still go into offices and see my books lying around, and
That's funny.
that's cool.
And here's the thing: this isn't about writing a book, right? This like we're not talking about like we're just saying the power behind a book. And like in Yawanda, she's like, it's pretty easy to write a book these days with Chat GPT. In
Yeah.
fact, but yeah, I mean, like you can do it in an hour, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You got an
totally cool.
idea, you got a mindset. In fact, I did one, so I'll be publishing that pretty soon. So it'll be pretty cool.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
it's super easy to do. We were doing it back when, Microsoft Word barely had functionality. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little
no
bit
word
more
correct.
challenging, but
Yeah.
it's definitely an icebreaker, that's for sure.
Tim, you like let's move to current times. What are you doing? Knowing what you know now, what are you helping your LOs do, and what's working for you as an LO and a team and a branch manager and all that stuff?
So it still goes back to that thing I talked about in the beginning. Like you got to get your mindset right that you got to find a loan every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you got to stay out of the weeds. You just got to. If you get up in the weeds, then it does come down to conversations. Like, I'll give you an example. If you make a post and a lot of people comment on it, I don't know many people that do this. Like when a lot of people comment on one of my posts, I actually pick up the phone and call
That's
them. Dude, every time they're like, what are you calling me for? Because I'm not going to have a conversation with you back and forth on Facebook. I want to see how you're doing, you know?
brilliant.
And it still just comes back down to the conversations. And then I did write a book, Circle of Referrals. I can give you a PDF and you let people download it. But the Circle of Referrals is really, really simple, Scott. We do 3 things with our agents every month. We educate, we appreciate, and we ask. Okay. And this is using Redder, which I'm a huge fan of Redder.
Yes, sir.
Go look up this data. Try to prove me wrong. The
Okay.
average real estate agent is worth like 1 deal a year.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously.
That's probably
I mean,
stretching it.
you get like 1 deal every 12 months from an agent, and too many loan officers give up on the relationship. They're like, "Well, Tim, I took them to lunch at Taco Bell. Hell, had a coupon and everything, and told them their dress was pretty, and I still don't have a loan." Well, they don't have a deal. I mean, 70% of them didn't even do a deal last year, right?
Right.
And so you got to hang in the relationship and give a lot of value. And the way we do it is like, if I want to close 75 loans a year, I need 75 real estate agent relationships based on the Redder
Yeah.
data.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if I get 1 or 2 or 3 from one of them, great. That's a home run. But the average one's going to give me 1 every 12 months that I can close. Okay.
Interesting.
So I'm going to put them in my circle. Right. So every month I'm going to educate them. Right. I do it a number of different ways. Look, I've moved on. Now I'm printing full color magazines to educate my agents. They get this in their mailbox every month. Okay. I want them to think about me when they're trying to, their car payment comes in. They're like, that sucks, but Tim's magazine's really good. Right. And so that's the way we educate them. Teaching classes is the way we educate them. Right. The weekly emails got an educational tip for the open houses this weekend or whatever. So we educate them. And then number 2, we appreciate them. Now, listen, I want to talk to, if there's any men on this call, I'm talking to you on this one. Okay. Men have the hardest time with the appreciation part. Females kick our tails in this category every month, and we don't even know what's happening because we call them pop buys. You ever heard of pop buys?
Yeah.
Little tchotchkes and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you what, They move the freaking needle. Okay. It's been proven, studies have been done about what you get in return for simply appreciating somebody. Okay. And men tend to look at it as like cheap and cheesy or whatever. Look, dude, I got these little pop by bags right here full of candy. Okay.
Oh, dude.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
Agents love these, pop a lottery ticket in it. You know what they're at that point? Man, they're like, dude, I got my candy. I got my lottery ticket. What's going on? They remember what other loan officer has a candy bag? And
Uh,
look, it's resealable too, man. It's resealable, right?
what?
And so if I educate them and then I appreciate them, right? Then I just have to talk to them. Scott, how you doing? How the kids? What's been going on? I saw the kid hit a home run at the ballpark the other night. You know. Oh, by the way, I got this cool program. You got any customers right now that are looking for this kind of service? Or I'm paying appraisals this month, or whatever your hook is for the month, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
99.9% of the time, they're gonna be like, man, don't have anything like that. I don't have a customer right now. Hey, no problem. I hope y'all win the championship in the ballpark. Listen, I hope you win on the scratcher this month. Eat the candy. You need anything, holler at me. Oh, by the way, look at page 13 in your magazine. It's got great viral video tips for you for your real estate. Go ahead,
Yeah.
and then I'm done. I'm just go to the next, right? So it's a
Too
simple
easy.
system, but a lot
Always
of
coming
people
back
don't
to the
do it and give
basics.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Sean said, my coach would remind me follow up is like foreplay. You can't just drag them in the cave for a loan.
You can't, man. You
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
and they're struggling too, right?
Big
I
time.
mean,
Big time.
Oh,
so you gotta sort of lift them up,
yeah.
and
I'm kind of nice.
Oops, sorry about that.
that's all right. But you gotta lift them up, and you gotta give without expectation. That's probably one of
Mm,
the things that really hurts loan officers a lot. They're like, well, Tim, I talked to them and I didn't get anything. Well, that's because you're expecting something. And I told you your expectations should be one loan in the next 12 months. It could come in month
mm,
2 of the relationship, or it can come in
mm.
month 11 of the relationship. But the loan officers that I coach that are like, I'll give you one example. A young lady I started coaching 2 years ago. Her most she had ever done in 1 year was 15 million.
That's
That's the
good.
most she'd ever
Okay.
closed in 1 year. Okay. We've been coaching for 2 years. Last month, she closed $15 million in the month.
Whoa, let's go.
Right.
Her on the show.
So here's the thing, like, what does she do? Everybody wants to know, well, what does she do? Well, she works the hell out of the circle of referrals. She has over 232 agents she
Mm.
does that with on a monthly basis. So, you
Tim,
know,
one of the things that I heard you say, that's congratulations to you and congratulations to her. That's unbelievable. So, I mean, like, how life changing is that?
dude, that's pretty life
That's
changing.
that's yeah, yeah, for generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
but it's simple execution of those ideas, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Educate,
appreciate
and ask.
and
Educate,
ask.
appreciate, and ask. And the more I think about this, Tim, I might have got the zero expectation of anything in return from you literally 20 years ago because I've been saying it all the time. Like once you change that mindset and that core and your like core belief and you do that, it comes across different. It's not
It does.
it's not yeah. So I'm gonna give you credit for that one.
I don't know I
'Cause I think I
deserve
got it
it,
for you,
but
bro.
I'll
But
take it. I'll make a book.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Look,
yeah.
give zero expectations. That should be a new
That's
book.
right. That's
Anyway.
right. The other thing I heard you talk about is you know them as far as they had their ball game and they're in it like of them when you stop by. It's not just stopping by like who are you and you relate to something to make it a relationship. I think
Yeah,
we've
with
gone away from
Facebook
that.
or social media, you can look on there really quickly and see what's going on in their life. Maybe they, you know, did some landscaping, or the kid did something, or the pet did something, or whatever. I've got a reason. But after a while, if you're building a relationship with them, then it just kind of becomes a friendship, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's really no pressure in calling your friends. Everybody wants a script. Hey, give me a script. Do you have a script to call your friend? Yeah. Well, I call you today, Scott. Go, hey, my buddy Nick. I really want to call him, but I don't know what to say. Can you give me a script?
All right.
I mean, like, if we just
That's
be
fun.
human with people, it's like, hey, what's
Yeah,
up? How
yeah,
you doing?
yeah. Too
Um,
easy. Too easy.
too easy. But you got to do it, man. People give
Consistency.
up on it because they're like looking for the new thing. They're like, well, Tim, I saw this new thing. I get that you saw the new thing and maybe it'll help, but don't forsake these three things because it's produced the fruit, right? We
Yeah.
know this is working. Why give up on that? You know,
Yeah.
if you want to add something new into it, great.
Yeah.
But I just try to keep it simple, man. I mean, look,
Too
I
simple.
flunked out of college. I'm not that smart. I just,
Hang
I
around
gotta
smart.
keep
I
it
just say I hang
simple.
around smarter people. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hey Tim, what are you doing to combat against AI? I know it's a like you always say. I mean, you've said it many times. Don't get involved in noise. The noise. The noise. I think AI is a lot of noise. It is real, but what are you doing? How are you coaching people around that?
Well, I mean, we are using it, right? I mean, using it. I'll give you one way that we're using it. This is sort of old school, but it's helped us with it. Is, if you can mirror the personality of the person you're talking to, you have a higher chance of conversion. Okay. So hey, you have to get a little bit of basic knowledge about disc profiles, personality profiles, so you can sort of categorize this person's a D or an I or an S or a C.
Yeah.
But let's just say I categorize somebody as a C. In fact, a text came in recently. This person's a high C, right? So if I want to convey a message, I can go into ChatGPT and go, I'm speaking to a high C personality. This is the message I want to convey. Can you give me the email or the verbiage I need to use? And it'll pick up on keywords for them, right? And that's helped us with conversions a lot, Now, the flip side of it, I think we're moving into a 4.0 world or whatever you want to call it, where, I see a lot of people and they'll get Chat GPT to write something and they just post it, all the time. And it lacks the authenticity and you can kind of see that. So we're starting to tell, agents and customers, hey, if you get an email, right, it could be artificial intelligence. And do you really want to converse with that? So we're trying to position ourselves like we always have and in a position of, influence and authority so that if they get something, they call you up and go, hey, this just came in. Can I zip it over to you and tell me if it's legit or not? So those are some of the things, but we've been working on growing influence and authority for my entire career.
Yeah.
It's a challenge and I don't know anybody can keep up with it. I'm just trying to stay next to it or within shooting distance of it because it's just moving, dude.
Right.
You know,
When
here's
you
what I'd like to ask them though. Why
Yeah.
can't I get a picture of Saturn that's clear as day, but I can't get cell service on Logue Road between those two stop signs?
That's right. I love it. I love it. What so it sounds like you authority is a number one key, which we talk about almost every guest I have on here talks about is being visible,
Mhm.
reminding people who you are, what you do for a living, and doing the basics that you talk about. Stopping by and saying hi, and Popeyes. I haven't heard Popeyes in a long time. I think everybody thought they were dead, but it's back to being human, having building a relationship, showing your face. I'm a real person. It sounds like
It really is like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's the more technology tries to drive our lives, and there's a lot of benefits from it. Don't get me wrong. Look, I'm a huge fan of the tech. The more people crave authenticity in relationships, right? I mean, and so can you get gut real with somebody
Mm,
and be seen as an authentic person? Because that does build a lot of trust. And just be honest with them and have conversations with them, you know? I mean, we live in a world of filters and Lord God, man, there are success stories and all that stuff, but what's the real you and stuff like that. And that just comes across, but it can only come across in conversation, tonality of voice, body language,
yeah. Yeah.
but you've got to be intentional about going out there and doing it. Sort of like what I said with the Facebook post. If a lot of people comment, most people's reaction is to like the comment or reply to the comment.
Yeah.
My reaction is I need to call
Pick
you,
up the
see what's
phone.
going on.
Love that, dude. I so love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That was a mic drop there. Carl is asking, how can you be a real person when one market's out of state?
I mean, I don't know that the boundaries really matter, do they? I mean, I'll give you a great example. Years ago, when I was running around doing my branding classes, I went to New Jersey. It was the first time I was ever there. Now, if you live in the South, you can kind of get some preconceived notions that people in the North are a little bit abrasive and things that can get kind of put in your mind. I don't know what to expect. There's like going to be like 300 agents at this event. And so all I know is to be me. I don't know how else to be me, right?
Yeah,
If you don't like me, that's cool. You can defriend me or block me. Trust me, I'm not
I
going to
love
lose
it.
any sleep. But so I go up there, and I'm always a big believer in humor,
Yeah.
right? In fact, for a lot of my coaching clients, I strongly advise that they take a improv comedy class. And so
Wow. Okay.
I get up in front of the room and I'm like, hey, everybody, if you don't know, I'm from South Jersey by accent. And it's a little place called Nashville. We dropped off the horse and I got on a plane and came up, right? And I said, I wanted to be, I wanted to get along with you guys today. I didn't know exactly how to do it. I wanted to be relative to your culture and everything. And I said, I didn't know what to do. So all I did was I watched My Cousin Vinny like 10 times. Dude, they broke out laughing. They broke out laughing. And they were like, dude, you're just real. And I'm like, well, what? You need me to get up here and put on some kind of facade or whatever?
Yeah.
I think you just do it no matter. I don't think you let the mentality of another state or a boundary or a distance say, oh, I've got to act differently there.
Okay.
Right? Because
Yeah. Be you. Yeah. Virtually. Be like, get them on a Zoom. Be real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, I didn't shave all the way this morning. It's all good. Right? I brushed my teeth, but you can't smell my breath. I mean, I just
I love it.
we get in our head, man. We're like, okay, well, how do I talk to somebody in Atlanta, Georgia? I don't know. The same way I talk to somebody down here in Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
I love it. Yeah. I think it's the hardest part, Tim. It's just being real. Like I always talk about be you, because the right people come in, the wrong people go away. It's okay.
I learned niche marketing from my very first business coach because I told her, I was like, this business is stupid and you can't solve it. And I'm pissed off at it. And, all this stuff and everything. And she's like, well, why don't you go through your database and see who you like working with the best? And so I did that. And there was like 10 people that were self-employed. And I was like, I love these people. And she's like, well, just go talk to those people. So at my BNI group, I just started going, I'm the loan officer if you're self-employed. Right. And I jumped all the way in. It was on my voicemail. It was on my business card. It was on my flyers. If you're self-employed, you call me, right? Only 30% of our business was self-employed, believe it or not. 70% was just other regular stuff.
Okay.
And so that helped me just be me,
Because you were self-employed. We are self-employed. So yeah. And I think it's bigger now. It's probably 70% now, right? I mean, holy smokes.
Everybody's got some
DSC
kind of account, right?
Yeah.
Only feet or something. They got some kind of account going. They got some cash coming in somewhere. You have to. I mean, hell, rates are high. These houses, my neighborhood went up 47%. What the hell? I mean, I got to get put my dog to work, put my big toe on, for sale online, something. I need some extra cash. I mean, everybody's got a gig economy or whatever these days. So
I love it, dude. I love you, man.
Anyway.
It's been awesome. It's nice to reconnect, man. It's really nice. I'm glad you're doing
good to see you, brother.
Changing name, changing lives like nobody's business. And I sincerely appreciate that. You're a good dude, man. I put a couple of his links up there, his books in there. Tim, any final words before we head out? We're at the bottom of the hour, man. I sincerely appreciate your time today. And
no, man, just don't get distracted. Be yourself and go find a loan. And you're gonna have to start a conversation. Good to see you, Elizabeth. I hadn't seen her in forever. She's a sweetheart. You're gonna have to find a way to start a conversation today that gets you to either another referral partner or a loan. Yeah. It's gonna do you no good to scroll all day and make posts all day. Do a little bit of it, but go call some people.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
All right, buddy.
Man, I'm here for you, brother, man. Thank
Same
you.
here.
Same time, same place tomorrow, right here on the MLO Live Show. And for the people that are part of MLOlive.com, we'll see you at 10:30. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
See you guys.
Take care.